People see the luxury, but they don't see the hustle. Here's how I went from being a fashion assistant to dressing brides and celebrities. Hi, my name is Corinne, and I'm a bridal stylist and former fashion editor, and welcome to my channel. Here's how I became a New York City bridal stylist. So let's jump right into it. How I got into fashion. My mom has always been into fashion. She is very fashionable till this day, and I always knew I wanted to do something with clothes. The difference is I'm Haitian. I'm Haitian American. My family's from Haiti. And in our culture, fashion and media and entertainment isn't really something you do, it's something you enjoy. So for me, when I was growing up, my options I thought were becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, or becoming an engineer. Until I went to college and I was like, actually, there's so many different avenues and realms for me to take. So I majored in communications, and that was my first entry into fashion. The good news is that I am from New York, born and raised. That made it easy to find a lot of the fashion internships in between breaks. So I interned at places like People's Revolution and Bumble and Bumble. And it wasn't until I graduated from college, also, I went to Boston College, where I realized that I don't want to be the publicist pitching the editors. I wanted to be the editor. So I just started cold emailing and pitching editors on the other side. I literally had no shame. I was emailing everyone. And lo and behold, it landed in the inbox of a beauty editor. I won't say names, but she is very well known now. And she was like, you know what? I like what you're doing. Let's chat. So we had our meeting. It went really well. And she just said, I don't have any positions open here, but what I will do is I will send your resume along to HR. And yeah, keep in touch, hope things work out. About a week or two later, HR reached out to me and they're like, well, we have an opening at Brides magazine. Would you want to interview for that? It was an editorial assistant to the editor-in-chief. And I just said, absolutely. One, I just wanted to get into the door of editorial. So I didn't care what type of job they gave me. I knew nothing about bridal. I knew nothing about weddings. I just knew I wanted to work in fashion, and this was a job at Condé Nast. I was always of the mentality of get my foot through the door. If I got my foot through the door, the rest is history. And guess what? I was right. I got the job at Brides. I was at Brides for about a year and a half. After that, my name came up in the pile of people to interview for the assistant to the editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine. It was a very tough job, but very rewarding. And I have to say, I learned everything working at Vogue. And that's how I learned how to style. That's how I learned everything I know about fashion. That's where I learned a lot of things about life at the same time. It was honestly a crash course to everything. I always say Vogue was my business school. It was my master's degree. I do not have a master's degree, nor do I have a business degree. But I have Vogue on my resume, and I'm like, that's all I need. So I was at Vogue for about 2 years, and I was young. I was in my early 20s, and I didn't know what I wanted to. I was like, do I want to work in editorial? I don't know. I wasn't sure. But the beauty of life is that you can pivot and you can make changes whenever you want. You trust in God and you believe that He's guiding you in the right direction wherever you want to go. So I decided to pivot and I went into influencer marketing. And it's not the influencer marketing that we all see and love today. It was very, very, very new. YouTube wasn't the YouTube today. Instagram had just started paying these content creators to create stuff. And people were just trying to figure things out. It was definitely a learning lesson in business, negotiating, how to work at a startup, because I was working at a startup at the time. And looking back, it's just like God had positioned me in each and every role, because where I am today, I have taken bits and pieces of everything I've done and put it into my business today. So I was in influencer marketing for about 5 years. But again, the power of the pivot and the power of faith I decided to just reflect. It was 2020, and I was just like, what is it that I want to do? What brought me the most joy? Obviously, there was a lot going on in the world. And for me, I just wanted to get to the core of what brought me joy. And I thought back to the last time I was working and I was really happy. And it was at Brides Magazine. And as God would have it, they had a job opening for a fashion position at their company. So I applied and I knew people who worked there, which was perfect. And I got the job. And basically the rest is history. I worked at Brides for about 4 years as the senior fashion editor, and that's really how I got my jumpstart into weddings. I did everything. I met everyone. I talked to everyone, went to bridal fashion weeks, networked, learned, spoke to designers, learned the silhouettes of the dresses, learned the names of the designers, and lo and behold, I kind of became a fixture in the bridal fashion world, which then had people coming to me to like style cover shoots and style celebrities on the covers, because that's also what I was doing at Brides. And it wasn't until maybe my year 3 or year 4, I just started to get the entrepreneurship itch. And I finally, at this point in my life, I realized once I got the itch, it was kind of like God nudging me to say, all right, it might be time for a pivot again. And that's really what it was. It's time to pivot and it's time to start your own thing, which is how I left my full-time job as the senior fashion editor at Brides as I was in the midst of styling celebrities and cover shoots to start my own bridal styling business. And let's just say it's been amazing. It's been rewarding, but it hasn't been easy. Entrepreneurship is not easy. And if anyone tells you otherwise, I mean, maybe it's easy for them, but I'm going to say, I don't know about that. And now I just get to dress women up for one of the most special days of their lives. Like I say, I play dress up for a living. It's amazing. And I play dress up in one of the happiest industries there are. So that is how I went from being a nervous fashion assistant to being a full-time fashion entrepreneur. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, now that I've given you a professional history, get to know me, here are some quick fire fun facts that have nothing to do with work. So number 1, I have an obsession with traveling, and I think my favorite hobby is booking flights. No lie. I am blessed enough to know that majority of my trips are paid for by work, whether it's to see a runway show in Vietnam or to go to Barcelona Bridal Fashion Week. I have truly been blessed with the ability to travel for work. And I also know that I love a good trip and I love sitting on the beach with a book. That is hobby number 1, I will say, booking flights. It's an expensive hobby, so it's a hobby that I don't do very often, especially as a first-year entrepreneur, but something I love to do. Number 2, I am obsessed with pasta and I have to stop myself from eating it. I can eat pasta all day, every day. I mean, it goes hand in hand with booking flights and trips because I've been to Italy a few times to eat pasta. I literally last summer took a trip to Venice for 2 days in between a Europe trip because I wanted to go. 1, I wanted to see Venice and take myself on a romantic trip. But 2, I wanted to eat pasta and I ate pasta breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it was amazing. So 3, I love a good rom-com and a comedic show sprinkled in with some mindless TV. Like in the summer, you will catch me watching Love Island every day. It is a guilty pleasure. At the end of the summer, I'm just like, why did I consume so much Love Island television? But it's fun. My family watches it. We talk about it. But I also love a drama, and my favorite type of television show is one, a comedy and a medical drama. Opposite ends of the spectrum, but it is what it is. I forgot what number I'm on, so I'm going to stop counting. But the next fun fact is I absolutely love Christmas, and it has turned to a semi-obsession with Christmas. I start listening to Christmas music and things in July, and I officially start celebrating Christmas the day after my birthday, and my birthday's in September. So my next fun fact is if I am not working, which I tend to do a lot. I am spending a lot of time with my family, or I'm experiencing experiences, which I realize is what I tell people so I don't say my hobby is booking flights. Or I'm on the phone with my boyfriend. My boyfriend lives in London, so we do spend a lot of time on the phone together since it's long distance. But if I'm not working, I'm doing one of the three or all of the above at once. Okay, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to say. I really wanted to make this quick, concise, but also, getting to know me. If you do have any questions, comment them below. I will answer, and maybe I need to make a part 2. I'm not the best at sitting and looking at the camera and talking. That's why I think I enjoy vlogging the most, which brings me to my last point. I really just picked up a camera because I was starting my business. I kind of wanted to document it for myself of where I started and then see how I journeyed through the world of entrepreneurship, and it just became really fun to start vlogging. Yeah, hope you got to know me a little more. If you want to continue to get to know me, please subscribe. I will document as much as my journey as possible. But again, if there's any more questions you have, please feel free to comment. I will always answer. I want to say thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot. I'm here just documenting my life for fun, and people are enjoying it. So it's been a blast, and until the next video, thank you.